Before I start this video, I just wanted to say that down below there will be information cards about what's going on in the world right now, and there'll also be donation links and petitions you can sign and do what you can to help, because the world needs it. With that being said, let's cut to the chase. So I'm currently doing my nails because I thought, why not make a video and do my nails at the same time. But I'm gonna talk about something that's been on my mind, and if you want to listen, you can listen, and if you don't, can you like this video and subscribe before you leave the video? I've started thinking about this since last week when I met somebody. I was introduced to my friend's friend. When I meet somebody, I don't really feel obligated to say that I'm deaf unless I run into a problem or the other person don't really talk clearly. I have problems understanding people who mumble, and it's not their fault. So we're like an hour into the conversation and we got to know each other. I forget exactly how it came up, but I told him I was deaf and I have 2 cochlear implants. And his response is what I almost get every single time I meet someone new. Their responses is either any of these 3 things.
You don't look deaf.
What? No, you're not. You're too pretty to be deaf.
I don't understand. I never know what to expect from the other person if I tell them I'm deaf. It's never, oh, okay. Well, anyways, as we were saying, and I never got that, and I'm the type of person that likes to take a second and try to view things from other people's perspective. I try to view the situation like the other person. So if I was a hearing person and I met someone deaf who was talking normally and who looked normally, I guess, I would assume that they're hearing. But the second they tell me they're deaf, I would be surprised. So I get it from that way. But honestly, I thought I could paint my nails and talk at the same time, but it seems like I'm struggling. So I wanted to talk about this issue because I feel like that hearing people have this idea that being deaf is you can't hear a thing, you can't talk, and you only know sign language, when that's not the case at all. When someone identifies as a deaf person, that can mean so many things. That people come from all different types of background, history, and it's not your place to say, oh, you don't look deaf, oh, you don't sound like you're deaf, oh, you don't blah 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 blah. I identify as a deaf person even though I have cochlear implants that help me hear, simply because without them I'm deaf. I can't hear a thing. But there are some deaf people that can hear a little bit and identify as deaf. There's some people that have hearing aids that identify as a deaf person. There are some people that have like 50% hearing and consider themselves as hearing. It just goes a lot of ways, and I feel like I need to talk about it because not a lot of people spread awareness on this, and I care about the deaf community and how the hearing world treats them. A lot of people are shocked when I say I'm deaf simply because I can talk, and in my opinion, I don't think I talk perfectly. I know that I struggle a lot with words, but for some reason it surprises the other person, and I take that as a compliment, but at the same time it doesn't really mean anything. I can talk and have good speech because I was lucky enough to have the resources growing up. I also grew up in a hearing family. Me and my oldest brother are the only ones who are deaf, and I have my other brother and my parents, and they're hearing completely, and we were lucky enough for them to learn sign language for us, and that was me and my brother's first language, and then we had to learn to speak English. So growing up, I had extra help to learn English and to learn how to write and all that stuff. That plays a huge part of why I can speak, but I consider myself deaf because if I just randomly decided that I wasn't going to use my cochlear implant after not hearing for a while, I could lose my speech. That happens. But not every deaf person is as lucky as I am. There are some deaf people that grew up in a hearing family and wasn't able to learn sign language and wasn't able to get the resources. There are some deaf people who grow up in a deaf family where they're not able to talk and only use sign language. So like I said before, we come from all different types of backgrounds and history, and not everyone you meet is going to know English. You can't tell if someone is deaf by the way they look. And you can't tell if someone is deaf by the way they act. I don't know where the assumption that if you can talk, you're not deaf, because that is just not the case. Unfortunately, there are other deaf people who can't communicate with hearing people and struggle. And I'm here to speak for them because I just feel like they're not being heard. I feel like they're being misunderstood and misjudged. So moral of the story, don't say any of the things I said in this video because you're just gonna end up hurting the person. I can really go on and on about the mistreatment deaf people get, but I'll do that with another video because I feel like this video is getting a little too long. I'm not sure. The worst thing about painting your nails is like not being able to do anything after. You just have to, oh, I forgot the pinky. So if you're watching this video and you're like, okay Kelly, how do you expect me to react? My first advice is to learn sign language. Not only this could help deaf people, but it could help when you're talking to someone that doesn't speak the same language as you. Sign language is hand gestures. Sign language is understanding more. You can learn basic signs, like if someone needs help, you help, or if you need help, help. It's like simple things like that. Someone asked me if being deaf was trippy if I drank and all that stuff, and I find those questions very interesting because I don't think that way. And being hearing, you could have so many questions about being deaf because you just will never experience it unless you get older or unless something happens to you. And that's another reason why you should learn ASL, because you'll never know if maybe you'll lose your hearing in the future. I hope you don't, but you know what I mean. Or you might meet your soulmate who's deaf, or you might have children who are deaf. You never know. ASL is always a good thing to learn. And I messed up my nail. Great. Maybe one person will watch this and be like, damn, okay, I'll keep this in mind next time I meet someone deaf. And that's all that matters. That's why I'm here. And my third advice to wrap all of this up is to not say, please, just do not say these words.
You don't look deaf.
Our deafness does not define us as who we are. We are our own person, and this is who I am, and I just happen to be deaf. That's all I really wanted to say for this video. For some reason I'm feeling like I didn't really say that much. Alright, I'm gonna go finish painting my nails. I hope you subscribe only if you want to. Up to you. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.